Welcome to Nature's Neighbor on AM 1230 KPRL. Nature's Neighbor. We're live and local and all about living sustainably right here on the Central Coast.
Good afternoon, Central Coast. Hello, everyone. I am your host, Melanie Blankenship, sitting in the KPRL studio with our boy, Chad Stevens, ready to take your phone calls. And I'm here to answer any questions that pertain to food, family, farming, and home. Home being right here on the beautiful coast of San Luis Obispo and enjoying this beautiful weather that we are having outside. Oh my goodness, it's pretty awesome. Although, yes, Chad, I got it again. The beautiful weather makes me go outside and play, and I got poison oak again. And my poor son, he played his first round of flag football yesterday at Everest Park. And when he got home, not only being exhausted, I was looking at his face, and he was starting to swell on the side of his cheek and all underneath his neck. And I'm like, honey, what's wrong? He's like, I don't know, Mom, I'm itching. I look at it. Sure enough, poison oak. So yes, we grow that stuff as a landscape plant, and I'm usually pretty good about staying out of it now, but it's all starting to green up and come back from dormancy, and I'm pretty sure that, you know, having 11 baby milking goats that follow us around but go out and are weeding. Yes, they eat a lot of poison oak, but then you forget that they had been in it, and you'll start loving on them, and I think that's where both my son and I both got it. And yes, we'll be about 4 days, 4 to 7 days, depending on how much oil I was exposed to, is what I will be dealing with this poison oak. I just, you know, you should have seen me this morning. My eye was swollen shut. So, and yes, my husband had nothing to do with it. You know, I kind of was a little slow coming to work this morning, trying to get the swell out of my eye, because I'm like, oh, this looks really good. So anyway, so I, you know, this warm weather makes me go out and explore more and do more, and, you know, well, I pay the consequences with the poison oak that we grow. And I try to get rid of it, but it's there. And I have to get better about staying out of it. So with that note, it's such an exciting time of the season. There's so many things going on. There's so many things that are sprouting and coming alive. I mean, how can you not just look around you and be so incredibly excited to where we live, for the beauty in which we are living in? I mean, the blossoms, the blooms, the fresh air, the amount of food that is available in this community. And I am very lucky for what I am surrounded by. So even though I get poison oak, I'm not going to complain, because there's too many other good things to think about. So also with that note, I want to put out that finally we got it all done, and it's rolling. Nature's Touch Nursery and Harvest.com, so my website for our store. We have finally got all my podcasts of all my Nature's Neighbor shows are up online now, minus one because we missed one. I think it's the March 17th show that we missed. But besides that, the last, I think, how long have I been on the air? Since September, I think. So they're all there. Every show that we've done with KPRL is all now podcasted right on our website. So go to Nature's Touch Nursery and Harvest.com, click on Nature's Neighbor, and then it's you can pick the date in which you want to listen to. It's all listed there. So all of our shows are right there on our website. So you can listen to what we have been talking about, and all the exciting things that had happened in order to guarantee that we're going forward here. And also, too, what's up, Chad?
I was just going to say that if they listen to the podcast from the past, they can feel free to call and talk about subjects that we've already talked about.
Oh, yeah, no, definitely. If you have any questions about what you've heard on any of our podcasts, please give us a call, 238-5775, 238-KPRL, and be a part of our conversation here. And I'm getting really excited because I do have a lot of people that are coming up to us and saying, I listened to your show. I'm not really one to call in, but I have some questions. And or, I'm hanging out at the store and being me. And I had a gentleman that came in on Saturday and was pretty excited. Although his beautiful wife, I felt bad for her because I'm like, would you just listen to him? The guy knows what he's talking about. And then he turns around and goes, well, I listened to your show. I'm like, oh, put his poor wife, because we were talking about don't overwater your plants. We're talking about, don't just overdo it, because overdoing it in your vegetable garden is usually about 99.9% of the time, that is usually what is causing problems, is overdoing it. And so it was pretty excited. So I enjoyed spending time with them and helping them get going on their garden. And that's what I'm here for, guys. I'm not going to be the person that's going to sit here and say I have all the scientific data and it's, this is the right way. That's not who I am. Who I am is been there, done that. Let me share with you what I have learned from doing, and why reinvent the wheel? When the wheel is already rolling, I'm trying to figure out what better suits our area in a more efficient, non-waste kind of a manner. And that is what I'm trying to share and what I'm trying to teach here on this radio show, as well as why I'm in business. Why am I in business? Because I just posted this on Facebook in a long conversation because of what I experienced this weekend. I am doing what I'm doing because I honestly, truly love the people that walk into my store and share and have built me, as well as I really like eating good food. And I have created this bubble where the food that I'm surrounded with is really good. And when I step out of that bubble, yes, I can find good food, but it's not as easy as I have it literally all right within our system. And I know the hands that have grown and harvested the food in which that I'm exposed to. Yes, I have my hands in the dirt, but I can't do it all, nor can any grower out there or producer do it all. How many mouths do we have to feed in this community? Just the community alone. But all I'm saying is that I'm willing to keep my hands in the dirt, keep us teaching, keep us having another choice to be able to make those life choices, to be able to better our community and better our food system. So also with that note, I have a couple of events coming up, and I want to get some time out there. And it's a really, really, really exciting one that is coming up this Thursday night inside Nature's Touch. What we do right there on the corner of 3rd and Main at 225 South Main Street is my big roll-up door. We close that a little bit, and inside we put out all the chairs and we move the tables and all the benches around. And inside on that big roll-up door, we put up a screen to show documentaries. So on my side door, when that big roll-up door is closed, just walk around the side there. The side door is open. Come on in, 6 o'clock, free documentaries. And this is a really, really, really important one, guys. I really would love for everyone that eats fruit or anything that might need to be pollinated by a bee, as well as anybody who actually wants to learn about true honey, true raw honey. Just keep in mind that most commercial brands of honey are allowed to use corn syrup legally without any labeling on them. So, when you're buying honey, just make sure that you truly know the hands that are moving the boxes and collecting the honey that you are consuming. And you got to understand too, because of the decline in bees and honey out there, there's a lot of back stock of honey. Growers had produced a bunch before, stored it, and then they pasteurize it, they heat it up, and they boil it down. So all those people that are trying to use honey for allergy purposes, it's very, very important that you know the source of the honey, because there's so many ways around the system. And so if you're really looking for honey that is to serve a purpose, or you want fruit, you got to understand where the system is coming from or how the system rolls. And this documentary that we're showing this Thursday night inside the store, it starts at 6 o'clock. It's called More Than Honey. It's about, we feed the world more than honey. It's not about just honey. It's about the whole concept of the bee and how the bee is changing, how it's mutating, how we are losing them, why we're losing them. I will give you a little insight. The last 3 years at Nature's Touch, it has been very hard to find honest, clean honey because we've been in a drought. Bees need honey. Bees use pollen to make their honey, and they can't make honey if there's no pollen. Flowers don't produce pollen if there's no water. There's no water, they don't bloom, they don't grow. And so there's a lot to it. This documentary really gets to the point. There's some answers and results from this, as well as kind of a really big eye-opener. And but come in, enjoy. I like on the very very front of the advertisement for the documentary, it's a quote from Albert Einstein. It says, if bees were to disappear from the globe, mankind would only have 4 years left to live. It's true, because of the way that they pollinate, the way that they move, the way that they are so incredibly important to everything that we do in our life. We got to pay attention, guys. And on that note, too, there's a huge decline in people that actually know how to farm and take care of honey. There is a man, I know a lot of us locals that knew him, I should say, Paul Stolte. He was a man on the corner at the Templeton Farmers Market for years, and I bought honey from that man for years at his little farm stand, and as well as sold next to him at Farmers Market. I learned so much about the food I ate from that man, not because I bought honey from him, but because of how he farmed bees, and understanding how important it was to keep that man going, because without that man going, the lack of food. Well, guys, he's passed away, and nobody has shadowed that man. Nobody carried on what that man had done and learned. I'll never forget the one rainy day he came to the store to talk to me about some stuff, and we sat in his truck. And he talked to me, and he grabbed my hand, and he looks over at me and goes, I'm not a well man. And he looks at me and goes, what scares me the most about my health is the fact that I have not been able to share with anybody what I know about what I've done. And he goes, how many people tell me, why do I work the way I do? Why do I not, how can I not sleep? How can I sleep in the back of my truck? Because bees needed to be moved at 3 o'clock in the morning. I'm not going to drive, wake my family up at home. I'm just going to sleep out in the field in the back of my truck and get up and move the bees when it's time to move the bees. There were so many things about that day that I hold so incredibly close. And all the people that know me and all the people that ever come in and talk to me about honey, I share that story with them, because it's not even just about having the honey or having the bees. It's also about having the people that are willing to sacrifice, they're willing to step up and learn and be a part of it. It's not about a 9-to-5 job. It is not about fitting within a system or a category. It is about getting things done. And I miss that man tremendously, and am very scared. I have other people that are doing it, but not anywhere near the extent that Paul Stolte has done. And my goal, I guess, with all of this and sharing this out here on my radio show is, wake up, please, somebody, anybody out there that's wanting or even interested in moving bees, working with bees. I hope maybe I can stimulate somebody to grab a hold and really take this on and carry the honey into the future. But come and join us at our documentary on this Thursday, 6 o'clock in the store. So here we are in the first half of the show. When I come back, I'm going to share one more event called Raising Happy, Healthy Chickens Naturally, as well as let's talk a little bit about what season it is. So we'll be back very shortly. Welcome back to the second half of Nature's Neighbor. I am your host again, Melanie Blankenship, sitting in the studio with our boy Chad Stevens, ready to take your phone call and answering any questions that pertain to food, family, farming, and home. Home, home, home. I love this place, and I can't wait to go back out and play in the dirt after the show and carry on our food future by getting things in the ground and hoping that we might see a little bit more moisture, because, April showers should bring some May flowers, hopefully. So cross our fingers. But it was really nice to get those good storms that we have just experienced, and my animals truly appreciated it. But with that, I wanted to just remind again, I was talking about honey, but the documentary that we are showing in the store, 6 o'clock this Thursday, and it is free. The film, the gentleman who does the filming is a nonprofit. He's the one who brings the film in, puts it all out there, and has it available for us, and deals with all the copyright and all that kind of stuff. He puts his bucket out there and has requests for donations, but we'll never turn anybody away for these documentaries. And and conversation. Also, we're going to have 3 honey producers, small-scale honey producers in the store, sampling their honey, talking about what they do, how they do it, why they do it the way that they do it. We are going to have a Rockfront Ranch, who is from Cuyama Valley, who is a completely 100% wild-caught honey. It is awesome. We sell it in the store. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful stuff. As well as my really good friends, Mary and Philip Hart, who own Ambeth Estate Wines. They're 100% biodynamic wine, and also move boxes through their olive orchard and their vines with their bees boxes. So they're going to be there sampling their wines as well as their honey. So pretty cool people. Come in and join us. Free again. We do serve, organic heirloom popcorn for free. And, the store is open during that time, but it's all about just coming in and being a part of this documentary and gathering with our neighbors and having good conversations on how we carry this food future into a good and positive way. So with that, I wanted to explain and talk about another event that I'm doing. This one you're going to have to mark on your calendars for May 3rd, which is a Saturday. It starts at 10 o'clock. It's at Nature's Touch Nursery and Harvest, my store down in beautiful Templeton. It's called Raising Happy, Healthy Chickens Naturally. It is a event that I'm doing with a really cool chick named Lynette Sani. She is a part of the Cattle Women's Association. She just does a lot of really cool ag stuff, and she has invited me to come and teach this class at the store. She's going to help coordinate it. Her website is Farmstead Ed, FARMSTEADED.com. Go to her site. That's where you sign up for the class. It talks about all the other classes that she's offering. It's all about just teaching locals and beyond what's going on in this community when it pertains to food and farming. So come and join us again Saturday, May 3rd at 10, Nature's Touch, Raising Happy, Healthy Chickens Naturally. I will be teaching the class. We are going to take you from egg to table, meaning the egg. What comes first, the egg or the chicken? We're going to take it from hatching to if you want to raise chickens for just eggs or if you want to actually raise chickens for meat as well. We have another company that's coming in going to talk about chicken coops. We're going to talk about, how to choose from all the different feeds there are. I personally farm biodynamically, so therefore I don't use any GMO or any animal byproducts in my animal feeds, and so it's really hard to source the varieties of foods that I use. But this is our choice, and I'm here to help you with either if you wanted our choice, or I can help you with all the other ways as well. So it's up to you how you want to do it, but let me help you guide through the resources and trying to make it more efficient and more easy for you. That's what I'm there for. So also with that, let's talk about seasons really quickly on the short end of my show here. And the reason why I want to say this is because on Saturday, I had a USDA inspection. I was first shocked that USDA walked in on a Saturday, but it's because they are now contracting inspections out. So this is an independent party that works for the USDA to go out and do their inspections. USDA has me categorized as a grocery store, so that's why he was coming in to validate that I am an actual official grocery store. With that, he walked in and asked, I had a several page document that we had to go through and fill out, and I had to drop what I was doing and deal with that. And mind you, it's Saturday on a warm, beautiful day, and everybody wanted nursery stuff, and it was incredibly busy. At the same time, a USDA inspector walked in. And, granted, he is an inspector. He's doing his job, okay? And so we can't sit here and be mad at the messenger. This is my way of thinking. And at the end of the inspection, I have to truly say that, the man is really a cool guy. He's just doing his job. And it's just bad when the job is not what it needs to be. And to have a man representing the USDA walk in and he's going through his documents and then turns and goes, "Where's the pears? Why don't you have pears?" And I looked at him and I said, "Huh?" And he goes, "Well, pears." He's like, and he looked at me like I was crazy, like, "Really? You don't know what a pear is?" And I'm like, "Hey, bud, pears aren't in season. Like through the whole United States, they're not in season. So pears are coming in from, south of the equator. And so I won't have them because I only do seasonal, all local food, all within California. And I'll never forget his comment when he was like, okay, so you got to bear with me here. I'm just not used to these kind of places. Kind of places? What am I? So I did put this on Facebook. I had an awesome conversation with many people on Facebook about this. But I thought about this, and I scratched my head a couple of times. My head on Saturday night, I had so much anxiety just thinking about everything. I couldn't sleep, so of course I was on Facebook. Good point. So, I'm like sitting there thinking, how many people around my community, I said this about GMOs, how many people in my community actually feel comfortable knowing what a GMO is? We had Lowell Zielinski come in on the show. We talked a little bit about GMOs, and I want Lowell to come back because there's so much to talk about and so much to understand. But how about we just start from the beginning? What's in season? Do people actually know what is really in season anymore? I had a little lady that took a class, and I threw out that cantaloupe or melon. So cantaloupe is your rib rind, honeydew is your soft rind, cucumber is your elongated soft rind. But guess what? They're all melons. Well, they're all just coming from different parts of the regions of the world, but they're all melons. And I threw out to her that medicinally, melons are actually very stimulating to the pancreas. So they actually help and aid with diabetics. And I was trying to explain this to her, and she went out and she bought a cantaloupe. And she was like, well, it didn't taste very good and rotted and da-da. She's going on. And I'm like, well, they're not going to be medicinally right now because they're not in season. You need to eat the foods to actually get the medicinal part from it from when it's actually in season. There's a lot to be said about when your body is going through certain things. It all has to do with the weather. So why not eat foods that are dealing with the same thing, dealing with the weather? So with that, please go out, understand what your seasons is, and enjoy the weather because it is incredibly beautiful. And that's what I'm going to do right after this radio station is done. I'm going to go out and play in the dirt because I need dirt therapy. So all of you that have continued to support me and love me, thank you again. I'll be here next week, and we'll continue the discussion on what is in season. Come join us at a documentary on Thursday, 6 o'clock. I'll see you guys all there. Have a really good week.